just let me test this. At page 10, where you've got that comment in the comments box, bulk acknowledgement by PSC official. I think you said, and if you didn't say that, then that's how I read it, that's a PSC official comment, whoever received the form. Am I reading it wrong? Or do you read it differently? I had read it that way, and then when we get to page 15, there's no comment, and then it caused me to ask, in fact, who is supposed to complete this comment section?
Well, it's very unclear. On page 10, it's not clear to me whether it's the official that himself or herself that's annotating this and saying bulk acknowledgement. What is bulk acknowledgement? It seems to me that it might be some other person who says there was a bulk submission of these disclosures and there's a bulk acknowledgement that they've been filed and nothing more. So no scrutiny of the form, merely an acknowledgement that it's being filed. And it's not clear to me that who actually annotated that.
Okay. Your witness can speak to this, I suppose, whoever's going to speak about these disclosures.
Indeed, Commissioner Bloy, I think it's an important topic for us as a commission to understand when it comes to the institutional reforms.
Thank you.
I think I was on the last form, which is 25 to 26. It's unchanged in all of the respects regarding financial interests, regarding the remunerative work, the 3 million. But you'll see under section 3, any other financial interests not applicable and a nil value. Under directorships and partnerships, only one, spares Oasis. Other remunerative work, 3 million, spares Oasis. Under immovable property, it remains the same. Under section 12, vehicles, it's now not 30 vehicles, but 22. And then we see in section, yes.
2020. 2020, 21.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yes, it has kept its value, the purchase price.
And I'm going to buy, I see that it has quite some longevity, 2000.
But now it's listed as the last vehicle in the list, so maybe it's on its way out, Chair. So it's now 22 and not 30. And in the last, let me say this, it's important because now we've got the section 13, other financial liabilities, and it says nil. To Commissioner Beloy's point earlier. And then section 14, it shows that it was submitted on the 28th of April, 2026. And all it says under status is disclosure submitted by employee. So now we see a different note under status. We don't even know who completed that form, who wrote that in. There's no comments in the comments block. The form is just not, yes, there's just no information on that. So those are the financial disclosures as we have it for the last 5 years. There's a lot for us to deal with on finances. For now, Commissioners, what I wish to submit is that the evidence of his lifestyle and financial interests that we pick up through the chats, but also other information which is contained here, but we are still to deal with it. And we have had some engagement with General Khan's legal representatives on the spreadsheet that's in this folder. And we need to check the figures that's in the spreadsheet, because there seems that there are discrepancies to be resolved. And that's why we are not going there now before the Commission, because there's no value in putting up information to the Commission that we are not 100% sure of is accurate. So that will be explored at a later date. But what we can say is that the evidence, as we have it thus far, and put it no further than this, is that it suggests that there's not been a full disclosure of his financial interests in these forms. That's the first thing. But even if it is, even if one were to say that what's contained in these forms is a full disclosure and is accurate, there aren't any other companies, there isn't any other source of income, there isn't any other asset, whatever it may be, it raises serious concerns, because the problem is not that we have a police officer, a senior police officer, with outside interests. It's not that you may never have an outside interest, and that's not at all what I am suggesting to the Commission. The problem, rather, is that General Khan was a senior crime intelligence officer and is a senior crime intelligence officer, so at the time of the disclosures, and he was earning 2.5 times more a year than his public salary. So on his own version, on his own disclosures, he's earning 2.5 times more a year from a private motor spares business than from his public office. And at the same time, what we've seen from the WhatsApp chats that have gone through since Friday, he's simultaneously involved in discussions concerning the automotive parts procurement. He's talking about procurement officials and access and the like. We've been there already. So even on his own version, there's a concern. It's the amount of income relative to what he earns as a public servant, and then it's the nature of the business. The next concern is that it's not merely a financial interest that comes from it's not just a passive income.
At this stage, are we aware of anything more than the 3 million or 3.5 million in terms of income?
We have some records, Chair, but I didn't want to go there because we're still clarifying the accuracy of those records. We know that there are many more companies.
I'm asking because at this stage, before you are able to talk about income that's more than what we see, let's say objectively, are you able to draw any inferences before you sort out the issues around the spreadsheets? For example, it says the 3 million comes from the Oasis Spares shop. Let me just call it that. I'm not sure of the exact name now. Are we able to say anything to gainsay that at this stage?
Well, Chair, yes, we have some evidence. One is in relation to his other business, Magic Motor Spares, which is a running, functioning business. So there's...
It doesn't, if somebody has a business, it doesn't necessarily mean that they are making money. But I do know, of course, there may be issues of when did he start running that business? Can he continue running it, for example, for 7 years if he's not making any money out of it? But I'm not sure that at this stage we have that kind of detail.
Chair, you don't have that detail in front of you right now. What I'm putting before you is a series of things.
Yes.
And including the other businesses. Now, even if he's not earning an income from it, it has an asset value. And that's not recorded in the disclosure forms. And there are other companies. We don't know the full extent yet of that, which is what we want to come to once we spend a bit more time looking at those spreadsheets. which is why I'm making the proposition at this point in time that we don't think so. We have reason to believe this is not a full disclosure. I'm not saying anything more at this point about it. What I'm rather addressing you on is, let's assume this is a full disclosure. Let's take him on his version. And my submissions to the Commission are, there are nevertheless serious concerns, even on this version, for the reasons I've been setting out, which is one, the fact that it is 2.5 times more than the public, his salary in public office, that it concerns an industry in which he, we've seen, has had engagements with regard to procurement. In fact, you know, it's also a, let me leave it there. I don't want to give evidence on other things.
And perhaps I should correct myself for saying what we objectively see in front of us. I should rather have said what we see in front of us, because objectively suggests that we are able for ourselves to see what the position really is in terms of what we see. I should have just said what we see in front of us, and not use objectively.
That's true, Commissioner,
Yeah.
Chair, even of the financial disclosure forms.
Yes.
So let's assume that what it is correct. And
Yes.
and then my concerns remain, but they're different concerns. So I think the concerns are going to grow, but even at this stage, the concerns remain. We've also seen that this is not, you know, we've seen from the chats that there's a lot of engagement with the businesses. So this is not in the nature of shareholding in a company where you earn a passive income. This is an active business. And again, General Khan may have an explanation, and he may say, we don't know what he may say about it. But it's not that kind of a financial interest where you earn a passive income. And then the final point to be made on these financial disclosures is the one that I began to engage with Commissioner Beloy, and that is an institutional one. What is the purpose of these forms? And is the design of these forms fit for purpose? Who do they go to? Who checks that they are completed properly? What follow-up and consequence management is there? We don't know that yet, but it would seem that this is not a workable or functioning system that lends itself to accountability. And so I think it would be important for us in the time that remains for the Commission at some point to engage with the issue of the financial disclosure forms, but from the view of somebody who has a better knowledge and understanding of how this process is meant to function and what it's meant to achieve, and whether, in fact, in this context, and remember, we're not talking about financial disclosures here of any government department. We're talking about financial disclosures in the SAPS. And so there will be a particular unique requirements, one would think, for these kind of financial disclosures. So for now, Chair, that's what we wish to say on the finances, with the caveat that we're not done with it yet.
Advocate Hassim, your first point, you highlighted the fact that General Khan is very senior within crime intelligence. And you state that as a fact. What we don't have is the organogram, the hierarchy within crime intelligence, and what his role entails and where it fits in, and why somebody in that role is so important, and why these disclosures are relevant, because that position is a particular position where that person deals with these types of issues.
I think, Commissioner Kamala, that would be something that we want to deal with, along with these other points that I've been making about financial disclosures. We know he's senior for several reasons, his position, but also his salary level is at 14, and also these kind of financial disclosures only apply to senior management service. But the point that you're making is that it's the function that he serves is relevant, and so it must be tailored to. So conflicts of interest, for example, are different when you are a senior crime intelligence officer than when you hold some other position, and those are the things we need to explore through somebody who has better knowledge of how that system should work. So, Chair, that's for now, that's it from me. I will be back, but the next chapter is going to be presented by Mr. Chaskalson. And I think if we were able to take a short adjournment to allow him to set up, that would be appreciated.
Let's, Jen will come back when we are told to.
Thank you, Chair.